All right, to talk about this, I want to bring in Raphael Warnock. He is the senior pastor at the Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta, a Hillary Clinton supporter, along with Republican strategist and Donald Trump supporter Ashley Bell. Good to have both of you back.
Good to be with you.
Good to be here.
Ashley, I want to start with something that Donald Trump said yesterday at one of those rallies, that he complained that Hillary Clinton did not congratulate him on winning and beating his opponents. Donald Trump didn't congratulate her. Why is that a point of contention?
You know, we take these conferences too seriously. Donald Trump is speaking to his supporters. He's having a conversation with them, not really the press. He was being a little tongue-in-cheek, just as he's been with other comments. I wouldn't read too much into that. He knows that Hillary Clinton wouldn't call him if he was on fire, so okay. Let alone to say congratulations.
All right, so we wrapped up the DNC this week, Reverend. And last week, when Ashley was here, we asked her about possibly was the RNC a little too pessimistic, the tone too dark, too depressing. I want you to watch a moment from the DNC this week. So we've got singing literal love songs on the stage. What the world needs now is love, sweet love, and you've got a friend.
That sounds like my church on a Sunday morning.
Yeah, but people aren't looking for the church. They're looking for jobs in Northeast Ohio. So they said, you've got a friend. Well, they need a job. Was it too rosy in Philadelphia?
No, these are very serious times. And I think if you saw the entire convention, the Democrats dealt with the issues that are really confronting America. I was deeply moved that in juxtaposition to what we saw in Cleveland, Hillary Clinton was bold enough and engaged enough to put the mothers of the movement, we call them, on the stage to deal with this issue of police brutality. Behind it, of course, is this issue of mass incarceration. She didn't distill it and reduce it to law and order. These issues are much more complicated. And so I thought we saw a very serious engagement of very serious issues, and we need a serious president.
Understood, but even the Clinton campaign, and we heard it from the Trump campaign, that the descriptions were of two different Americas, and the people who were hurting in Northeast Ohio, through Pennsylvania, Michigan, may have watched the DNC and said, they think everything's fine.
I saw both of these conventions, and as a pastor, I move through the community. I see the suffering and the pain that people feel. In contradistinction to Donald Trump, who has tried to exploit this pain and the division. The pain is real in America, and I think that's why you have seen the kind of election we've witnessed over the past year. A lot of people in trouble, white people and black people. Of course, we feel it in a particular kind of way in communities of color.
Yes.
And I think Donald Trump has tried to exploit that pain and to exploit the divisions in America in a path toward political power. I think ultimately it'll fail.
You want to jump in there?
Yeah, I think Hillary Clinton made herself once again the Secretary of Status Quo. She is consistently saying that everything is just fine. When you saw the mothers on stage, you know, it touched my heart, but at the same time, I agree with Pastor. It's bigger than just the criminal justice movement, the new Jim Crow. All these issues are bigger than just Black Lives Matter as a hashtag. And they said that she would say Black Lives Matter, but she didn't. She didn't get on stage and say that. For us as Republicans, we have to make a better case, I understand, for a different direction. This is a status quo versus change election once again.
Has Donald Trump made any proposal on criminal justice reform?
You know, that's a very good point. And I can tell you, I'm the first one who would sign up to help him write a criminal justice reform platform. But here's what Hillary Clinton did do. She did not get on stage and say, you know what, let me take responsibility for the overreach of the war on drugs that's incarcerated 1 million African-American males and females in the 90s.
But
didn't hear that.
Is it also not, it's too easy to suggest that she approached criminal justice reform in the wrong way when your candidate didn't approach it at all?
I have read her plan on mass incarceration. I've yet to read Donald Trump's plan.
No. I 100%. This is the one thing I will be absolutely critical with my nominee. Until Donald Trump comes up with a criminal justice reform platform, he is going to be in strange territory right here. And there's many Republicans, conservatives like myself, we'll write it for him. Yeah. So that is a very earnest issue that we have to get towards, because when we get to the debates, you can't just say you support police officers, because I support them, he supports them, but do we also understand that there is a problem with a failed criminal justice system in this country?
Let's talk about the question of temperament. I want to get this in. This is what Donald Trump told ABC, and then we'll talk about that.
I think I have a great temperament. I beat 16 very talented people, and I've never done this before. You don't do that with a bad temperament. I'm leading her in the polls, as you probably have noticed, and I think I have a great temperament. I have a temperament where I know how to win. She doesn't know how to win. She's not a winner. She doesn't know how to win. And this country, if they choose her, this country will not be in good shape.
Donald Trump says he has a great temperament. We've seen and read the Twitter rants. We've heard him ask his supporters to attack people, protesters in the crowd. We have watched him curse while on the stump. Do you think he has the right temperament, the best temperament?
You know, when you put them side by side, when we look at what we saw at the Democratic Convention, once again, Hillary Clinton says the one thing and her judgment is completely different. She didn't once address the fact that they went into Libya.
Donald Trump, his temperament.
Yes.
That was the question.
Does he have a winning temperament? Of course, he wins. When has he lost? He hasn't lost yet. I've supported 2 candidates before I got to him. He's beat everybody. So yes, he does have a winning temperament. But until Hillary Clinton addresses the lies of Benghazi and Libya, people can't just hear her say these great things and trust her, because even the President of the United States had to admit, what was his one failed flaw? I had no plan when Libya was over. How do you have the war in Iraq?
The question, though, was about temperament. Let me ask the question about temperament. He says he has a winning temperament. He's right there. He beat people who, you know, governors, senators, people who thought that this was just a flash in the pan.
Listen, as a child of the South who understands my history, there have been many candidates in the past who have won with a kind of divisive message. Just because you're winning some people over does not mean that ultimately that's a winning message. Martin Luther King Jr. said that the moral arc of the universe is long, but it bends toward justice. And so we've seen this kind of thing with Donald Trump over the past year. My good brother is struggling because, you know, he said that when he switched from Rand Paul to Marco Rubio, right, that he was trying to get behind a candidate, in your own words, quote, who is not divisive and who would appeal to the broadest segment of Americans. So my brother has a very difficult horse to ride here. Let me finish, because this is someone who disparages Muslim Americans, Mexican Americans, who makes fun of disabled Americans, who pointed to one black person in the crowd and said, that's my African American. He disparages prisoners of war. And so that leaves a very small base that he continues to appeal to, and is very limited.
You know, we can go all day look, we can go all day on tit for tat on racial stuff. When you look at the Democratic Party's emails, the first thing you see in there, they're picking at black women's names, saying they're ghetto. They call Latino engagement Taco Bowl engagement. All absolutely out-of-the-box, outrageous stuff that Democrats put in their emails. They may not say it out front, but this is legitimate
we're
stuff.
talking about your candidate.
We're talking about your party. The Democratic
the
National Committee said Taco Bowl engagement.
It seems a little hot and kettle to talk about taco bowls when Donald Trump on Cinco de Mayo tweeted out a picture of the taco bowl saying, I love Hispanics.
I agree that no party is clean, but what I'm saying is that my brother can't get here and say he supports taco bowl engagement. He's not going to sit here and pick at a black woman's name. He won't do that. He's a good man.
It's a
so
very
nobody
serious
should do
moment
that.
in America, and the only thing worse than ignorance is ignorance with enthusiasm. And we've seen this with this whole movement behind Donald Trump. Times are too serious. We can't afford Donald Trump in the White House.
And we can't afford more lies for Hillary Clinton.
Ashton Bell, thank you both. I enjoyed it. Christy, back to you.